how my 3.5-year-old son wants to be the Titanic for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he does.
Obviously, this is a tough subject in many instances, so do you think it's appropriate? If so, do you have any ideas on how to create a Titanic costume? He does love Jack from the movie, so I thought he could be him, but he's really just fascinated with the boat and how it breaks apart. Any advice is much appreciated. That's from Never Let Go in Oklahoma. What a delight.
Tragic event, of course. I'm talking about the OG Titanic.
No, the movie was a triumph.
The movie was a triumph. The OG Titanic fatalities that happened, tragic event, the way the boat broke apart, unarguably very cool. Like super duper super cool. It fucking got shucked like a pistachio, cracked in half, bobbed up, and then shot down. That shit rules. That's cool the way that boat exploded.
I would say, to that point, not an obscure interest, right?
No.
Like, a lot of documentary, a lot of money's been spent on, like, how cool the Titanic was.
Well, a lot of that, I think you can make the point of, like, from a historical standpoint, or, like, there's a lesson about hubris and excess that is valuable for us humans in the current modern age to understand and wrap our heads around. But then I would also say that there's some of us who just really like the way that the boat breaks up and breaks apart and explodes and falls down.
If I saw a 3.5-year-old trick-or-treating as the split, wide-open Titanic, I'm dumping the whole bucket in that bag.
You get a bucket full, for sure.
The bucket that they have is half of the Titanic, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's half of a Titanic model they've hollowed out, and they're putting.
Wait, hold on. I was gonna say that this was like, it's been so long since like Titanic, but this is probably about that homemade submarine that exploded.
Well,
isn't it?
no, but here's the thing, Travis.
No.
You gotta look through it through the innocent light of a child's eyes. That it's probably not about Ocean Gate's Titan submersible. That did have a pretty headline making accident
that in the Ocean versus Man rematch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and for no particular reason, I gotta run out the Spirit Halloween real quick because I just got a killer costume idea for this year's observances.
Justin,
Yeah.
that's not what this is about. This 3.5-year-old probably doesn't even know that the lessons of hubris that the Titanic
He doesn't know
originally
about the
ran
Titanic.
afoul of. The Titanic didn't even know about that. This is about the innocent light of a child's eyes. You're laughing in a bad way. And
Oh my God!
You're
Check
right.
this out! Check this out! Check this out! Check this out!
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Got two. You need 3 people, right? So at least person writing the question, you're gonna have 2 halves of the Titanic. You guys are walking together. Third person dressed as
Travis.
Iceberg comes in, hits Titanic,
into
and then the
Griffin
2
sentence.
people, the 2 costumes break apart cleanly.
You got it. Travis has it.
Everybody's gonna love
Travis
that.
was so enamored by his idea, he just sprinted up and spin kicked the conch shell right out of Griffin's hand.
Yeah.
And he just went.
No,
for
that's
it.
good. No, because you were grabbing the conch shell, Justin, and you were making rude sounds with it.
No. I handed the conch shell to a friend and excused
After
myself
you
to the
farted
back
in
room.
it. You farted
Yeah.
inside
Well,
the
this
conch
conch
shell
smells like
and handed
farts.
it back.
They say tragedy plus time. They don't say how much time, period. End of conversation. That's not germane to the conversation at all.
Sure,
I'm just
sure.
mentioning a fact.
Yeah, no, for the original Titanic. I mean, I don't know if we've actually hit the point for the OG Titanic
Where it's funny?
like hysterical yet.
I don't think that you can convince people that this is actually your child's idea.
Oh.
That is what's hard, right? If I see a kid in that costume, I think some parents are having some fun with a kind of a tasteless gag.
Oh.
I think it's got to be a fully assembled Titanic that's like, what if? You know what I mean? Like a sick, like...
And then you're holding him a sign behind him that says, like, don't tell him.
Or it can be a
halfway through
costume,
the flick.
a costume of the Titanic safely pulling into port in New York
Ship
City.
of dreams.
Okay.
That could be cool.
That's good.
You're going to need a 4th person dressed as... Okay, so 2 people in the Titanic costume. One is the iceberg. They're going to go right past them. Then you need a 4th person dressed as the port of New York City that they come into. This is going to tell a story, these 4 Halloween
And maybe a
costumes.
5th person dressed as a time traveler. right?
That's cool.
And they have like a big fan, and they're gonna blow the iceberg out of the way, and then wave as they go by. What's that? It's Doc Brown. He saved them.
Cool.
Listen, this is probably the time for us to mention that we had a great uncle, who was the purser on the Titanic. Yeah. So this is like we are allowed to.
Yeah, we're really allowed to.
This.
Yeah, man,
we're allowed to because it hit us hardest, among the hardest.
And I've been on a boat before, right?
If you look up Hugh McElroy, you're going to see the original, least hilarious McElroy brother. Who Dad delights in every conversation about the Titanic.
Not just the purser, the chief purser.
Thank you, Griffin. You say it because it matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Was he the person who yelled every man for himself? Maybe. That's in one.
Dad says in one story that shot. Dad swears up and down that the one guy in the Titanic who holds up the gun when all the men are trying to get on the boat and shoots the gun. He said he just told my daughter this like a month ago, and that was our great uncle Hugh.
Yeah,
like you think, Daddy didn't. No one called him.
Now, Dad also points to the screen and says, "And that's our cousin Billy Zane," which is really confusing and kind of undermines the first point. Yeah, I don't get that.
He said, "That's my best friend, Kathy Bates."
Hey, guys, I know we're supposed to wrap up the show, but I heard an anecdote that I've been meaning to share with you guys, and this isn't part of a bit. It's just something funny that I wanted to put in the podcast.
Go on.
Because I heard it.
Good. That's what this show's for, man.
I'd love to put something funny in the show.
After the passing of Jimmy Buffett, there are a lot of like remembrances popping up on the various like services. You know what I mean? All the various like TikToks or whatever. And one popped up from Jay Chandrasekhar of Club Dread.
Yes. Yeah. Of the Broken Lizard crew. Yeah.
I watched this particular TikTok.
Right? So he says, he tells this story about they made Club Dread, and it kind of has a Jimmy Buffett adjacent character in it named Coconut Pete, who is played by Bill Paxton. And they invited Jimmy Buffett out to like watch a screening of the movie. And he came out and he loved it, and they were watching it, and everybody laughed and had a good time. And then they're at the airport later, and as they're walking around the airport, somebody walks up to Bill Paxton. They're like, hey, Bill, I loved you in Twister. And he's like, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And then he peels off a $20 bill and hands it to him. And then they're walking around a little bit later, and somebody else like, hey, Bill, I loved you in Tombstone or whatever. And he's like, thanks. That's really kind of you to say. And then he peels off $20 and hands it to the guy. And then later on, Jimmy Buffett's like, I have to ask Bill Paxton, why are you handing $20 bills out to everybody? And Bill Paxton says, oh, man, that's a member of the movie going public. You're going to make that back right away. So what? The conceit for Bill Paxton is, I'm going to give people $20 with the understanding that they will be bringing this $20 back to the movie theater and sliding it to
the Bible teaches us, Justin, that the man who buries his talents in the dirt, those talents don't come back to him. But if you take your talents out in the world, come back.
This is basic trickle back economics. It's foolproof.
Trickle Ouroboros economics. It's all a cycle.
What if we had been doing that this entire time? Obviously, we couldn't have cut $20. Like, no way, right?
No
but
way.
I can maybe have some fivers on me.
You can't increase it over time either, because then one day you break off at 10 and they're like, oh no. Something's going bad. He was up to 50s. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Bill Paxton then admonished the rest of their crew for not having a gigantic roll of 20s that could choke a horse on him, his person at all times.
This is like, isn't there a Joe
Rest in
Pesci
peace,
story?
Jimmy.
There's a Joe Pesci story about a kid coming up to him, and the kid's like, oh my God, Joe Pesci, you just seen him in Home Alone. And Joe Pesci says, who's your favorite actor? And the kid said, you are Joe Pesci. And he said, that's right, and handed him $100 bill. And that's another one. I'm like, that I fully believe that story's true, but I also have a hard time believing that is a repeatable. Was Joe Pesci just dealing out $100 bills to any kid who said that he was his favorite actor?
No, that's a one starfish on the beach type story to that one kid. Joe Pesci is a fucking legend.
I think it's great if Joe Pesci walked away and was like, you know what? That kid was really happy I gave him $1 bill. And his, like, whoever's with him was like, Joe, that was 100. He's like, what? Fuck! Fuck!
Shit. I'm ruined. I'm ruined. I'm broke. Call Griffin. We got to move in together. We need a roommate. We're going to buy a mattress together. Me and Griffin and Joe Pesci. Hey, thanks so much for listening to our podcast. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. We are going to be doing some shows. Is that possible, Travis?
That's
are we
true.
Live?